What up, bro?
What's happening, man?
Oh shit, just another day, man. Let's go
Yes,
ahead and
sir.
get this motherfucker started.
Yes, sir.
So this has been a long awaited thing. We've been kind of talking about this. We've been spitballing this for about a good month now.
Yeah.
And we finally are able to do like a quick pilot episode. Let's go ahead and introduce the name of the show. It's called DoeKeezee. And for those of you who know me, they already know me as Roy from the Worthless Edward show with my twin brother, which that's still kind of a thing. We didn't quit that show or nothing like that. My brother's just kind of in the middle of doing a bunch of personal stuff that he's really got to focus on right now. So I'm going to leave him alone for a little bit until he gets some things settled out in his life. It's nothing crazy. He's just I just prefer him to tell people what's going on with that instead of me. He's just in the process of moving or something like that, and then he's just got to get some shit settled. So he's hasn't really had time, and he's constantly working. So anyway, so that's kind of what's going on with that. But yeah, this is the show that another show that I've decided that would be really fun to keep going with. My homie, we call him LK. Everybody knows him as LK from years back. It's Kenny, and we got together. We started a show. It's called DoeKeezee, which is short for LK and Doughboy, or AKA DoeKeezee or
Eh,
Beezy. So that's how you
Yeah.
got
And for
DoeKeezee.
the and for those unfamiliar, yeah, years long, he's been calling me Keezy, and I've been calling him Beezy. So we just kind of
Mm-hmm.
teamed up, and it's like, you know what, the DoeKeezee show.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. DoeKeezee.
so a little bit about what we're going to be doing here. We're kind of going to talk about everything. I mean, there's nothing off limits except for we don't talk religion and we don't talk politics for obvious reasons.
I'm good
But
with
we're going
that.
to be, yeah, but we're going to be talking about everything from sports to music, entertainment, cars. I mean, you name it. And honestly, we'd like y'all's input too. I mean, if there's a topic you would like us to discuss, feel free to let us know. And I mean, we're more than happy to talk about it. We'll just kind of make this an open and fun show and see how it goes and how everybody likes it. But nothing is, like I said, nothing's really off limits. So if you got something that you want us to talk about, feel free to let us know and we'll make that happen. So what do we got
Yeah.
on the agenda here, Roy?
Well, shit, man. Let's go ahead and get started. Actually, I kind of went ahead and put together some stuff here. And you know what? Let's touch on this real quick.
All right.
Here in Casper, um, literally almost a month from today, actually on the June 29th and June 30th here in Casper, they got the Casper Comic Con going on. Big
Oh, all
deal.
right.
I love it. They just had the Casper PopCon, which was
Yeah,
just
I
like a
didn't
month
make it to
ago.
that. I
Oh,
tried,
that
but
was
I didn't
fun.
make it. Was it?
It Yeah, I mean it was cool. I got to meet the lady who did the voice of young Goku, and I also met the guy who does the voice of Karen, Master Corn, the cat with the sensu beans.
All right.
So, if anybody who with the huge following the Dragon Ball has, they know exactly who I'm talking about. I got to meet that guy. He was fucking cool. I'm not gonna lie, that guy was cool. He let me take a bunch of pictures with him. He got to do the voices of all the characters he played. Uh, he even autographed. He sold my son what do they call that? The Funko Pop
Oh,
of the
nice.
Master Corrin. And then
Yeah,
he autographed it, said, "Got any sensu beans?" And then he signed his name. So it's probably going to be
that's
worth some
cool.
money later on down the road. So
That's cool.
regardless, it's a really cool piece of memorabilia. But anyway, that was really fun. We got to meet some people. So, and Casper Comic Con is by far funner than the PopCon. I mean, that was really cool that I got to meet those people and stuff like that. So that made it genuinely, a really cool staple. But besides that, the Casper Comic Con, dude, they're always fun, man. They got all kinds of shit for sale. You know what I mean? It's like a flea market for fucking nerds. So
And for those
it's
and for those
it's
unfamiliar, we both reside. We're both grown up and born and raised in Wyoming.
mm-hmm
This guy, he spent time in Omaha, Nebraska, and
mm-hmm.
I spent some time, believe it or not, being an Eagles fan down in Dallas. But for the most part,
That had to have been fun.
Wyoming raised, born, everything like that. So when he refers to Casper or a lot of town names, he's referring to Wyoming, of course. Unless we're
Mm-hmm.
talking out of the state, then of course, we'll say Colorado, Nebraska, and whatever. But just where we're from here, you can kind of, just assume we're talking about Wyoming.
Yeah, for the most part. And our eventually when we start diving into things, we'll be able to kind of dig into more things that we've done out of state and stuff like that. I'm sure that that's it's definitely going to be something that's going to be done.
And yes,
But the
people, Wyoming is real.
yes, for those flat earthers or government conspiracy theorists or whatever, Casper, Wyoming is a very real state.
Oh, that's
Yes,
a
there are some
city,
people
dog.
that really do. Huh?
You said Casper, Wyoming's a real state. Wyoming's a real state. Casper's a real town
Wyoming's a
in
real state.
Wyoming.
Casper is a real city. That's what I mean. Casper's a real city. There are really people who do ride their horses, not like you think, where they just ride it throughout town. You don't see that. Occasionally, you'll see someone riding a horse like out on their ranch or something like that, or if like they have like a parade or something like that, you'll see horses and shit. But or if
Although in
it's like way
Cheyenne,
outside of town.
when
Oh
I've
wow.
spent when I've spent time in Cheyenne, people are riding them through downtown and whatnot. They've even got the hooks, to tie up your horses and whatnot while you go into the bar and stuff like that. So I mean, yeah. And when I lived in Rock Springs and Green River, people actually rode their horses quite a bit through town just on a regular
No
basis.
shit.
But yeah, but we do have
Yeah. No,
highways and roads, and
yeah.
some of the
We have
best
electricity.
off-roading. Yeah, we have some of the best
Yeah.
off-roading, to offer because we have so much open land, and
Oh yeah.
most of it's
Tons of
public
it.
land, and you can go tear it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people don't mind, and they got really cool spots that are literally just a few miles, inside the mountains where you can actually just go shooting, and
Yeah.
nobody really cares. What is that called? Muddy Mountain or no? Is that what that
I
is?
Yeah, on the backside of Casper Mountain.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Muddy Mountain. And then I
yeah.
mean
I
we've
know. I
got
went back there and shot some shit back there.
before the city developed all the way out to Hat 6, we used to all go out to Hat 6 there and shoot.
Oh
But I mean
yeah, that's
can't
right.
do that anymore with the truck stop and Sonic and all those houses and stuff out there now, but
Yeah, you can't. It's like considered
no.
city limits now.
Yeah, but I mean we kind of you're kind of free ranging out here, as long as you respect the land and the wildlife and everything. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities out here, especially if you're not into mass amounts of people. Casper and
Mm-hmm.
Cheyenne are as much as you get, but most of our towns, are 15,000 people or less. We even have a town that has 2 residents in it. It's called Buford, Wyoming. Look it up. There's like
Yeah,
one or
yeah.
two people that live there.
Population you.
Yeah, population you and whoever
And
stops to
yes,
get
dude.
gas here. But you'd be a fool because the gas prices are ridiculous.
Oh yeah, that's real. That's real highway robbery right
Oh
there.
yeah,
Oh yeah, they're ramen
100%.
noodles. They're like, yeah, we sell ramen in this motherfucker. Like, how much is it? Like $7. No thanks. I'll starve.
Yeah, I'll drive the
Shit.
15 minutes to Cheyenne.
Right. I just went to Devil's Tower last weekend, and fucking I stopped at one of those places that are near there. Near it was just right outside of the fucking park, and I went in and I knew she was going to be expensive because I walked over to the food section. Anyway, went over there
You walking
and
over to the food section?
yeah, me walking over to the food section. Yeah. What are the odds?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
so no, I went over there and I saw that the hot dogs were $7 for a hot dog, and I was all,
Woo!
bro, we're not at a fucking game. What the fuck? $7. So I knew shit was going to be expensive. So I went over there, and then they had, because originally I went over because they had ice cream over there. I was like, ooh, ice cream. I wouldn't mind. So I walked over to go look at the ice cream, and I saw hot dogs over there. I was like, oh, I wonder how much they want for hot dogs. That would give me an idea because people are in line to get ice cream. So I went over there to see how much the hot dogs were, and it was like $7. And I was like, fuck, I can only imagine how much the ice cream is. Sure enough, it was like $8 for a fucking scoop of ice cream. And I was like,
Uh,
fuck this, dude. So I ended up buying a fucking keychain for $5 instead. And I was like, no, it's okay. So then I
and you got
drove,
something
and
that'll last forever instead of something that'll go right through your colon and out your asshole.
oh yeah, quicker than shit, right? Literally. literally. So we went by and we went to this fucking, and there was a sign that said it was like a little restaurant that looked like a fucking, it was like made out of a trailer house, like a double wide trailer, and there were, and it said famous buffalo burgers or something like that. My
Ooh,
first
love me a
fucking
buffalo.
flag, it's, oh dude, and that's what fucking threw me off, is that I was like, oh, buffalo burgers. So I thought it was going to be awesome, maybe like during Sturgis or something like that, people cruising through there, and then maybe they stop there and, you know what I mean, get some buffalo burgers or something.
Yeah, because there's a
Well,
lot of buffalo ranches out that way.
oh yeah, dude, there's buffalo all over the place, and Jasmine even pulled over, and then this other guy pulled over, and he goes, hey, he goes, you want to walk up there and pet one? Jasmine just looked at him like, are you from California? Are you from
we
California?
don't
What the
we
fuck?
don't we don't pet the fluffy cows with horns out here.
Yeah, we don't pet them. We leave them the hell alone because they will hurt you.
They will
It's like
nail
people
you
going, oh,
bad.
that's a beautiful hippo. Yeah, the hippo will bite the shit out you.
And
Dude, you
honestly,
just,
right now we're heading into fluffy cow season. I mean, man,
mm-hmm.
I don't even think Yellowstone's been open for a week, and there's already somebody that's gotten in trouble for petting one or trying to pet one of them bad boys.
Oh, yeah. Did you ever see the video where fucking those two buffalo, they're like on the road and they were just
Oh yeah,
smashing,
and they
like
do it
beating
until
them. And
one
then,
dies.
yeah, and then this old couple gets out their fucking car, and they get out and they're like trying to get up close and like videotaping it, and then some guy had yelled like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? Get back in your car. It's like, oh, we do?
Yeah.
You would think that your old asses would know better. You know what I mean? Because these look like they're like in their 70s, 80s, dude. Like they're old as fuck. And they were like just standing. And this lady, she looked like she was none but maybe 105 pounds, maybe,
Oh
maybe,
yeah, that thing would
maybe.
have sent her flying.
Oh yeah, and she was tiny, bro, and she had a camera. She's like, "Oh, look at the beautiful little fluffy cows. Let's go up." And it's so majestic that they're just locking horns and just bumping heads. Let's go look. And then this guy's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get back in your car!" I mean, they were making such a fucking ruckus, dude. Dirt
Well,
was flying up in the air and shit. Like it shit looked like a fucking like
well,
a
and I mean,
tornado of buffalo. It
I
was
think it's something cool
crazy
that you
looking.
should record, but record it from inside your car. Roll down your window, whatever, but stay in your car and
Honestly,
stop.
I don't know if I would even want to even be half a football field near something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
because they
I
could
mean,
literally turn and get out of control, and they will they don't give a fuck who's in their way. They're gonna
no,
be like,
they'll hit your
oh,
car. Oh yeah,
yeah, they don't care.
and I mean, you're talking something that's a couple $1,000. That thing will destroy your car.
Oh, yeah, they'll fuck your car up with you in it. They'll turn that shit into a fucking tuna can, dude.
I mean,
And then you're going to have the jaws of life if you're lucky to get out of there.
in reality, stay in your car. And if you and if you're out like looking at Old Faithful or any of our cool, thermal, geographic, whatever, any of our stuff, stay on the designated paths. Don't go walking
Yeah, don't get
off.
off
Don't go.
yeah, there's a
No.
reason why there's a trail and signs there.
Yes. And too many
There's a
people,
reason.
too many people get killed or burned or gored, or I mean, it's just you don't want to mess with Mother Nature when it comes to out in Yellowstone. I mean, they have the designated areas and the designated walkways. They do for a reason.
Right.
So, come out, enjoy it. We want you to come out and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But respect it, because wildlife isn't going to respect you because they don't know any better. I mean,
Yeah,
they're
they don't.
wild. It's in their nature to defend themselves, to attack predators. And if you're out
Mm-hmm.
there with your camera and you startle one of them or you freak one of them out, they're coming after you, and they're not going to stop until you're injured, at least at minimum,
If you're
and
lucky.
and then you're the one that gets injured, and they go and they put that animal down, and that animal did nothing except for being an animal.
Mm-hmm. It's
And
just doing what it naturally does.
yeah, and then you can still end up in federal court paying fines and everything else. So just leave the
Mm-hmm.
fluffy cows alone.
Yeah, just leave the bottom line. Leave the fluffy cows alone, because they
Yeah,
will fuck you up.
yeah, they
You
will.
don't see us fucking Wyomingites going into fucking, in some hood in fucking Chicago or fucking California and going, oh, he seems like a nice person. And what's the
No,
deal with the colors? Why can't I wear these colors in your neighborhood? They're so bright, vibrant. Let me
I
go ahead
see.
and ask this guy.
I see that shit. I'm
No.
locking my doors, rolling up my window, and I'm getting the hell on.
Right. Like, I ain't from there, bro. It's my fucking face
No.
is straight. I ain't trying to fuck with nobody. I keep it pushing, dude. Fuck that
Yeah.
shit. I have
You
MapQuest. I
you
have
just hope
fucking
your
Google
car
Maps.
don't
I have
break down.
fucking Apple Maps.
Just hope your car don't break down.
Right, exactly. And if I fucking pull into somewhere where I see fucking bars and shit over windows, like convenience stores and shit like that, or I see like the fucking triple thick bulletproof glass wrapped around around the cashier's fucking little, you know what I mean, the register,
I'm
you're in
out.
the hood.
Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah, and if you must get gas, get
Get
your
it
gas
fast.
and keep it pushing. Keep it pushing.
Get
Don't
out,
stop. Don't be
dog.
like, hey, how's it going, old feller? You know what I mean? No, just keep it going, dude.
He's
And
like,
that's the
nah,
same
get
way
on
with
wake,
us
you
in
don't do
Wyoming.
nothing.
Like, yeah, like
Dude,
the civilians here are pretty nice and outgoing, but the animals are like that. We're just like, you don't go, well, hello there, little fluffy cow. No, it's gonna fuck you up. Keep it pushing, man. Like, yes, it's pretty, it's cool looking, and
and I mean,
that's
and
it.
don't get me wrong, they know humans enough that you can they'll come up close enough for you to get those spectacular shots and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, they'll come up close enough that you could pet them, but don't pet them. That's the thing.
Right?
Do not pet them. I
Do
mean,
not pet them. Just leave it.
here in Casper, I mean, you've got wild turkeys running around. I sure as hell ain't getting out and touching one of them fuckers.
Oh no, dude! They try to fucking attack my car all the fucking time when I'm
Dude, they
driving down
did
the
it to
road.
me when I was on my motorcycle. I was riding and one of
Right?
those
They
damn
throw their
things
fucking
comes.
arms up and they like
Yeah,
come get you. Like, what's up? You're like, what's
they're
happening? Wait, you're
pecking
in
you
my
and stuff.
fucking territory, bitch. You're like, bro, get off me.
And I mean, we got antelope in town. We don't pet those bad
Mm-hmm.
boys either. When I was,
Yep.
in the 20 years I lived in Green River, we had deer in our front yard. I'd come out in the morning and they'd scare the shit out of me because one of them big old beautiful bucks would be on my deck or something. And I'm like, scared of them crap, but you don't see me going out trying to pet one of them bad boys either. Like, no.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
man.
I don't fuck with anything that fucking I'm not friendly with, or that I know that's not to even dogs. Like when dogs walk up at, you know what I mean? Like, you ain't petting no fucking stray dog because there's a chance that you're gonna get bit. Why the fuck would you fucking pet any other animal or touch any other animal? People are like,
Exactly.
oh, it's so beautiful. Look how it's all nice and quiet, majestic. Here, are you gonna go pet a fucking a horse? No, a horse can turn around and fucking buck your ass. Are you gonna go pet a fucking lion? A lion's a big giant kitty cat, but guess what? It'll bite the fuck out of you.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, come on, people. You got to have enough sense. That's just a common sense nature's law. You know what I mean? Like, come on. You can't be that stupid. But
No.
there are people that are fucking that stupid. It's like, well, and then you get mad at fucking people for making fun of you. Like, well, fucking duh. We're going to make fun of you because you're that stupid.
Yeah.
But
Well,
anyway, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of the topics we're going to talk about. It was really fun, actually. That was a fun little rabbit hole we just went down, actually. Okay, so the things that we want to talk about, we're going to be talking about WWE. We're going to discuss SummerSlam coming up soon. Actually, we'd like our boy Ray Ray. I haven't had a chance to reach out to him. I'm actually going to do that today now that I'm fucking looking at it. I'm sure Ray Ray would have no problem coming on the show and giving us his insight of, between music and WWE and stuff like that. Ray Ray's really good about stuff like that. So I would like to, we'll bring, our boy Ray Ray on. I already know
yeah.
he's going to love that.
Other
The
topic.
NFL, of course, we're going to talk about, stuff from the draft.
Well, and I'm a diehard Eagles fan. He's a diehard Cowboys fan.
If
So
you
it
can
could
see,
get
I
kind of
got my
interesting.
Dallas memorabilia.
He's a little
So
delusional.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better about that. I'm starting to fucking see more of the light. Like, okay, this is not going to be our year. I don't see it happening for a long time. I'll believe it when we get maybe to the NFC Championship. Then I'll start fucking getting loud again. Until then, I'm like,
Well,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, he says this. But here, 10, 20 episodes down the road, when football season is full swing, you're going to hear this guy talking about how his players are better than ours.
Yeah,
Guarantee
I've
it.
been doing that. I
And
did
he's
that on
going to
my
go
last
down
show
the
with
rabbit
Ryan
hole as to
too.
why. Yep.
Yep. And then it wears off once the season's over, and it wears off, and I get I don't know,
Yeah,
something
during
about being a
football
Cowboys
season, I just
fan.
want
We
to
get
kill you.
fucking something happens to us. Once the off season happens, dude, it's like the Jerry Jones' spell wears off on us. We're like, oh, wait a minute, we fucking suck, dude. We
It
suck. I
wasn't
love my
our
players. I
year.
love my players. I love defending them, but as the franchise and organization, people start seeing the light, like, you know what, we are getting fucked over, we are delusional. And then the shit pops on, and I think it's like the spectacular, the glam, the glory, the fucking bright lights, and it's so much fun, and you got the good music, or the people like, some people don't like it or whatever. But anyway, there's so much wrapped around it, you get so caught up in the hype that all of a sudden you start fucking going, you know what, maybe we are the shit. And it's just like, no, we're not.
And the rest
We're
of the
fucking
world is sitting
polished
around,
shit.
and the rest of the world sitting around going like, yeah, y'all are the shit till the first round of the playoffs, and then
Yeah.
y'all out.
Yeah, first or second round. We never make it past the divisional round. Never. I don't know if it's a curse, because they tried blaming Romo, and he
It's
couldn't
because you
do it.
guys
They
all.
tried.
It's because you always end up playing the Packers, and the Packers own you.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Oh,
what
dude,
it
I hate
is.
the Packers in the playoffs, dude.
They
I knew
own
that was
you.
gonna happen. I knew that was gonna happen as soon as they went up against the Packers at home, and I'm like, I don't like this. And everybody's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the Cowboys will win this. Don't worry about that. Even the people who hate the Cowboys are like, no, they should have this, dude. The Packers are
And they
not that
got
great. I'm like,
smoked.
and they fucking Packers were like, okay, we're the underdogs in this, and we're gonna show these motherfuckers. And you know what? Here's the thing: it wasn't just the Cowboys that they fucking banged with. They beat the shit out of the Cowboys, and then they went over and fucking took the show to the 49ers, and
And
they
just
should have
about
beat the
put them down.
49ers.
Yeah. Yeah, just
They
about
should
put
have
them
beat the
down too.
49ers. The 49ers came back. I can't fucking take that away from them. They came back, and they won the game barely. I mean, a win's a win, but the 49ers, honestly, dude, I don't know if the Packers slowed down or the 49ers like picked up momentum just enough to get them over that hump. But
I don't
yeah.
know, because we saw essentially we saw the same thing happen in the Super Bowl. Like they
Mm-hmm.
played great, and then all of a sudden it was like a light switch switched off, and that was it, which allowed, even allowed the Chiefs to come back.
Yeah.
Like the 49ers really probably should have ended up with the Super Bowl, but they just kind of they were riding high, and then all of a sudden just down. And then,
Mm-hmm.
you can't do that with Mahomes, because he's going to come back on you. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
that's
Mahomes is a monster.
Brady
Mahomes is a
used to do
monster.
that to everybody. And then,
Mm-hmm.
back before Rodgers became, fragile, he would do that to
Mm-hmm.
people. I mean,
Oh
you got
God.
it. There's certain quarterbacks you don't give a chance.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Patrick Mahomes is
Rodgers
one
and
of them.
Brady are definitely one. Yeah, you could put both of those in the. Aaron Rodgers, I don't give a shit if you're up. Listen, you got to be up by 21 with fucking like 30 seconds left in the game in order to beat Aaron Rodgers. If you
Right.
give him any chance of saying you can win this game if you do this, this, and this, and if you execute correctly, Aaron Rodgers like, don't fucking put me on the field. Don't you fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, don't you do it? It's like, all right, well, shit, here we go. And then fucking Aaron Rodgers gets on there, and he makes you pay for it. You're like, how
Yep.
in the motherfucker did you?
It's all
This
them
motherfucker,
psychedelics he takes in the off season, man.
something, man, because he's just like, how in the fuck did you son of a bitch? And the only team that can really fucking make Aaron Rodgers fucking, kind of like where he's just like, fuck, they got me, was the Niners.
Yeah.
The Niners can give Aaron Rodgers his run. I'm really excited to actually see, because we were supposed to see it last year, but he tore not his ACL, but it was like,
I think it was an ACL injury.
was it? I
Yeah.
know it was
And it
like,
was
or it
like
was like right
his
near
first
it,
or
like something
second
that's like,
play of his game. Like the
yeah, like,
first game of the season.
yeah, like 40 seconds in or something like that. And he just stand there, and all of a sudden he's all fucking, he was supposed to come back last season, but like it would have been phenomenal to see that. But the
He was
Jets held
actually
off, which was
he was
smart.
ready by the playoffs, but the
Oh yeah, he
Jets,
was. But
didn't do anything.
Zach Wilson's trash, so he was fucking Zach Wilson's trash. And it proved it, because they benched him, and then they put that Mike White, I think, in, and or whatever this name was, and he was fucking awful too. It's like, you guys, oh my god, just put Zach Wilson back in. At least it wasn't so horrible to watch. It's pretty horrible, but I know Aaron Rodgers, like, dude, if I was Zach Wilson, dude, and I'm sure, and the thing is with like Aaron Rodgers, I know Aaron Rodgers wasn't fucking coaching Zach. I know he wasn't. I know he wasn't trying to go, yeah, man, do this, this, and this. That doesn't sound like Aaron Rodgers' MO.
Well, he
He
learned.
doesn't
I
seem
mean,
like
look
that
what
type of
happened with him
person.
and Jordan Love. He
Mm-hmm.
knows. He knows that when
Yeah.
those cats come in, they're like there to take a job.
Yeah, they're grooming to take your job.
So you can't
Exactly.
get mad at them for not like training them. Like,
Yeah,
wide receivers, cornerbacks, running backs, I can see training those guys, but man, if you're a
Yeah.
quarterback and you know that you're like the lifeblood and you got
Yeah.
somebody, they bring somebody in when you're healthy, like when you're in good, good shape, still playing great ball.
Young and ready to
You
go and
know,
hungry and shit.
they're saying we're expecting you to be done pretty soon, or we're gonna be done with you pretty soon. I guess I
Mm-hmm.
can't blame them so much because I mean, there's only one quarterback on a field, but now you've seen with committees, there could be a couple running backs at a time, like rotating
Mm-hmm.
cornerbacks, wide receivers, tight ends. I mean, they
Yeah, multiple
rotate a lot,
positions or multiple players per position. Yeah.
but
Yeah,
quarterbacks
second,
don't
third,
rotate.
yeah. No, it's the only time when they rotate is when they're fucking either getting their asses whipped so bad that it's no point in fucking trying to get rest of them getting hurt, or if they're up so high that the game's over so they could pull them.
Or even
That's
the
the only
occasional
time.
trick play.
Yeah, occasional trick play where they put them in and do like wildcat or not wildcat. Is that what they call it, wildcat? Or
Oh, I don't know.
I forgot the name of it off the top of my head, but anyway, um, I remember because I'm friends with Dak Prescott's uncle, and I talked to him about this, and I was like, so I've read that Tony Romo, because everybody goes, Romo fucking groomed Dak when Dak was rookie, and he had that spectacular year, 2016, 14, 16,
Oh,
something
long
like that.
time ago.
Anyway, I think it was 16 because there was the year that they drafted Zeke, and Zeke had a phenomenal year, and then he
Yeah, he did.
started degressing, and anyway, they were doing really good, and everybody's like, "Man, Romo's really fucking taking Dak under his wing." And I talked to his uncle, and I was like, I heard that it was actually Mark Sanchez that was actually grooming Dak and not Romo. And I was like, what do you think about that? And Philip goes, "Would you train somebody who's getting ready to take your fucking job?" I was like,
No,
"Okay, there's your answer." You know what I
not
mean?
unless I
So
put my
no,
2 weeks
like
notice in.
yeah, exactly. And so by the time Romo saw Dak was kind of balling, he was like, you know what? I'm ready to get out of here. I broke my fucking back. I broke my shoulder. I punctured my lungs. I've broken my hands. I've done all this. And this kid's coming in. He's young and hungry. And looks promising. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. You know what I mean? And it actually was the best thing for everybody. It gave Dak his fucking time to take the keys. Romo was able to move on and become a sports analysis, which fucking he's one of the better analysis in the game now. So a lot of people who used to hate Romo, actually kind of like him now. They're like, actually, I like listening to him because he knows what he's talking about.
Well, we
So
were
that's
actually
kind of nice. So,
talking about that at pool leagues, believe it or not.
mm-hmm.
That Romo should be a freaking defensive coordinator. The way he goes out there, like the way
He
he's
can
on
read
TV
that shit
and
pretty
he can
well.
read everything. Like he's like, oh well, this guy's gonna do this, and boom, they do that. Oh, they're setting up
Yeah,
like this. This is what I expect to happen. Boom, it happens. It's like, dude, you could be a hell of a defensive coordinator. Like
yeah, you know what
this.
I
Like you
mean.
got it on lock. I mean, granted, you only
Yeah,
played
he could
for a
read
million years.
defenses like a book, dude. He was really good at that. It's like,
The only
damn.
thing he couldn't read is how to get a Lombardi.
Yeah, like I don't know. And like I said, it's like some kind of weird curse because you're like, Romo's a smart motherfucker. You know what I mean? That guy's like with your knowledge and the way you read defenses and shit like that, you're like, how were you not able to get this fucking team at least to an NFC championship? Like, and in my mind, because a lot of people go, Dak sucks and he can't do it. I'm like, well, then Dak hasn't been playing for the Cowboys for 25 years. So you can't just put sole blame on Dak. It's something to do with the Cowboys themselves, the owner or something. But you can't blame one player solely. It's not. I mean, I can't. You just can't because it's like now if Dak played for the Cowboys for the last 25 years, okay, I could. Then you'd have every right to blame Dak. Like, oh, it's his fault. You've been playing for 25 years, haven't done it, so we need to get something else. He's been
Well,
playing for 8 years and he's gotten as far as Romo, so I can't be mad at Dak. I can't be
we
mad at Romo. The
all
only person I can be mad at is Jerry.
yeah, I say we all know it's Jerry Jones, but
It
I
is.
do have a theory. I know how you guys can win a Super Bowl. Bring
Pay?
back VHS tapes.
Yeah. No shit. Hey, it got converted to digital. We can watch it on YouTube now.
No. I'm saying if we were to bring back VHS tapes, make them a popular thing, like like all the retro gaming and shit, how that all came back, records all came back. If they
Oh
bring back
yeah.
VHS tapes, where you can
It
just
might
push it
live.
in, put record, they might win.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
They might
shit.
actually win something.
Because I mean, all your greatest moments are on VHS tapes. So maybe with the VHS time coming back, you could have some more great moments.
Oh yeah, they might actually get somewhere. You're
You know,
absolutely right. Maybe it has something to do with the technology of today's fucking technology. Yeah, yeah.
I know what you're
That's
saying.
fucking awesome.
Well, and that's not even me, bagging on anybody. I mean, you guys obviously have far more Super Bowl wins than the Eagles.
Mm,
I know
yeah.
that, and not discrediting that. So I'm not gonna be like, oh, the Eagles are better. Obviously we've won Super Bowl. Now, in the last 10 years, are we way better than the Cowboys? Yes. But I mean,
Yeah.
franchise wise, no, we're not. Um, Even I, as being a football fan for as long as I have, my mom grew up outside of Philly. My dad grew up in Wisconsin, Packers fan, Eagles fan, blah, blah, blah.
Bet that
I've
was a
been around
fun
football my whole
conversation
life,
to
and I
watch.
know enough to know that the damn Cowboys need to get rid of Jerry Jones and get somebody in that knows what
They
the
can
hell they're
actually do the
doing.
job.
Yeah. Somebody
Yeah,
that's
like
more
Jerry.
about winning than about money.
Yeah, like Jerry is like, okay, when it comes to marketing and making my team a bunch of fucking money, all ears
Great.
to Jerry. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He bought the Cowboys for 140 million, turned it into a multi-billion-dollar fucking franchise. You're like, okay, I can't take that away from you. You're one hell of a salesman. Got to give you that. But when it comes to being a GM, get the
No.
fuck out the way and just
Hire a real
find
GM.
somebody who knows what they're doing and go hire the right guys because he
Yeah.
looks for yes men.
Yep.
And it gets, and I've already read reports how players don't even go to the coach when they have a problem. They go straight to Jerry.
Oh, I'm
Like,
sure.
why? You should not do that. It's all about the chain of command. You go to your coach, and then your coach takes it up with the GM, and the GM goes to the owner. That's how it
Yeah.
works. Trickle effect. And even then, you really shouldn't. I mean, I guess you kind of go to the coach, or you go to the assistant coach. You know what I mean? Or actually go to your coach. It
Yeah.
don't even have to be the head coach.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
offensive, defensive, your defensive
Yeah,
backs
go to
coach,
the
wide receiver
coordinators, and
coach,
then
whatever. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
so for
absolutely.
like if you're on offense, you should have went to at the time at one point it would have been Kellen Moore, but since Kellen Moore is gone,
I know
which
he's
I'm
with the
kind of
Eagles
glad.
now.
I that's my only because the Eagles made such huge splashes in the offseason, got such good guys. I'm like, fuck, man, they're making me sweat. But then they picked up Kellen Moore, and I'm like, that just gave me some hope. That gave me a little hope. I mean, Kellen Moore might be able to do something with
I'd say
that kind of talent because
I'm gonna laugh if they drop dimes on your ass.
you know what? I'm gonna be pissed if if Kellen Moore takes the Eagles to the Super Bowl. I will be fucking furious, dude.
I know you
Even
will.
if he takes them to an NFC championship, I will be fucking furious because I'm like, okay, so it wasn't Kellen Moore. Who was it? It can't be the fucking players. It's not Kellen Moore. Who was it? Oh, it was the yes man. Fucking
Fucking
and
Jerry.
yeah, it had to be Jerry because I mean, even Mike McCarthy has got a fucking Super Bowl because he was with the right team and shit.
And
Here's
Mike
the problem.
he's not a bad coach.
No, he's a good
He's
coach, but
really
the problem
not.
is he's old school, bro. He's old school. Everybody knows him. Like when we faced
That's why the Packers smoked your ass.
oh yeah, they knew him. They
Yeah.
knew who fucking, they knew him. They're like, "Oh, well shit," cuz uh the coach of the Niners fucking was the assistant coach to
Yeah.
fucking Dallas's
Kyle
defensive
Shanahan.
coach. Yep, Shanahan and Quinn, they were fucking, they worked together very closely. So the Niners had the number. They're like, shit, we already know how this is going to work. So we're going to beat their ass because we already know. And then when they played fucking Green Bay, same thing. We're like, shit, well, we already know how Mike McCarthy rolls. So this is what we're going to do. And they had a fucking plan for him and they beat his ass. And that's what I was getting at about. And I was reading an article and they actually pointed something out. They said, yes, a lot of these old school coaches, they've done amazing things in their career. We cannot take that from them. But they're old school. They've already done these tricks. These tricks they're played out. Everybody knows the fucking magic show that they're about to do. They already know how it's going to get pulled off, so they know how to deflect it. Jerry's thing is, and yes, he did pull in Kellen Moore, and at first Kellen Moore kind of looked good, but the problem is they need to find a coach that is young, hungry, and that nobody really knows about. And then so they can so you can't beat an opponent that you don't know. Once you get to know the opponent really well, that's why like the Cowboys and the Eagles, they always split every single year.
Yep.
It don't even matter the fucking record anymore because records go out the window. I mean, you
They
could say
split.
that with a lot of teams, but the Giants just fucking suck. So I'm not going to give them any credit right now.
You want to get old Danny Jones's roses?
Fuck no, dude. Everybody knows that fucking the Giants are fucktards
I know
who
everybody's like, why
who paid
couldn't
the
you
wrong
keep?
player.
Yeah, like why didn't you keep Saquon? Why didn't you keep Saquon? You kept this guy. Like what the
Yeah,
hell? All
yeah,
right.
they
With
paid the
that
wrong
being said,
player.
what's your early predictions for the year?
The way everything's looking, God, dude,
All right, who
this hurts every fucking bone in my body. It really does. This hurts me to say this, but I think the Eagles are going to take the crown of the East at least minimum. The Eagles are going to take their crown this year. They had way too many explosive fucking players. We'll see what happens with your
Jalen
quarterback.
Hurts?
Thank you. I kept wanting to say Love, and I was like, no, it's not fucking Love.
I heard Kenny
Um,
Pickett's kicking ass in OTAs though,
yeah. Ooh, see,
and that's our
but
backup
he's
quarterback.
just gonna be Hurts' backup.
But I'm just
I don't know,
saying,
man.
you never know.
You never know because the Eagles, dude, they're not one to fuck around and just be like, no, even though he sucks, we're gonna let him keep playing. The Eagles don't fuck around. They got
No,
rid of
you're out.
fucking coaches and players, fucking who've like,
They got
oh,
rid of
what the
Doug
fuck is?
Peterson the year after the one
Yeah,
season
he got him a Super
after.
Bowl ring.
Yeah, and
Yeah, he
then
got him a
they
Super
let
Bowl
him
ring,
play
and
the
they're like,
next year, and
yeah,
then
we're
you're
good,
gone.
go.
Yep.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
they're
they don't
willing to
fuck
fucking
around.
let someone who got him a ring go, please believe your job is consistently in jeopardy there.
All the
I mean,
time.
they like you, they'll show you love, but if
And
you
they are.
start
They're
slacking,
they're very loyal to their players when you're
yeah,
producing. But I mean,
yeah,
that's in
it's
reality, I
business
mean,
first with Philly
it's a
though.
job, man. I mean, you're there,
It
they're
really
paying
is.
you more money than any of us will ever see in our lifetimes. They
Unless
expect
we
you to
win the
earn that
lotto, but
money.
oh yeah, yeah. And my brother actually pointed something out because I said, I was like, what would you do as a coach if it was so cold outside? Would you let your players play? And my brother looks at me. He goes,
Yeah,
I would tell him, get your fat ass out on that fucking field to go
that's right.
fucking play. I started laughing. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, look, listen to this. He goes, if those fans are willing to come in the stands and sit in the open area, like oh God, that was one of the best games I ever seen. The Snow Bowl with the Eagles and the Lions that year. Was it the Lions? It was back in 2014, I believe,
Oh yeah, that
or
was back
13.
with
Was it
like
13?
yeah, with LaShawn McCoy and Jackson and all them. They were trudging through like a foot of snow.
Yeah, dude. And I
Yeah,
believe it was the Lions, dude, with Megatron was playing, and it was like blizzarding.
I think the
That was
Lions won.
such Yeah. Oh, fuck, dude. It was so hard to tell because you couldn't see the lines. They were just like, all right, we're just gonna play and hope something happens.
Yeah,
And it was so fucking. That was such a fun game. And that's when I was talking to my brother. And I said, "So what do you feel about that?" He's like, "If those fans are willing to go sit in those stands in that fucking cold weather,
your ass is
you can go
playing.
fucking play." Yeah,
Well, and I look at this.
they are paying to see this, and you're getting paid to do this.
Well, and I mean,
So,
look at this. Look at it this way. All right. You got a family. I got a family. Blah 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 blah.
hmm
I go out and work in the rain, the snow, the heat, the whole 9 yards. It don't matter. I work outside and I work my ass off. And I'm only making probably a thousandth of what those people are, and I still do it every day. Like, get your ass out there and play
every
some
day.
football for your millions.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
every day. And think about this, dude. Is at the time you probably think it sucks. You probably do. You probably think it sucks ass. You're like, okay, this sucks. I don't want to fucking be here. It's cold. I'm freezing my ass off. But it's really cool because it's those kind of games that fucking fans remember the most. So do you really want to be that player that checked out like Omari
Nah.
Cooper?
And those are the ones that the players remember the most too. Like
Yeah.
those
They're
games,
like,
those wild games.
yeah, when they start talking about like the 100 best 100 players of the thing, and a lot of times, man, that snowball, man, I tell you what, man, the way Megatron came up, grabbed that son bitch, I could barely see him, and he came down. And could you imagine you're that player that they're talking about? Like, could
Yeah.
you imagine someone going, man, I just saw fucking, Kenny Jacklin over there, and he came up, and he was a small guy, but he was tough as shit. He came in, he snatched that motherfucker up, and he boom, boom, and he took off, and he fucking got a touchdown. Couldn't even see his lily white ass, bro. He was all, I couldn't even see him. How
I hear
cool!
you.
Like, and then you heard that interview, you'd be like, I am that fucking lily white son of a bitch who really did that, didn't
I
I?
was I
Fucking
was
A, I
waiting for
am.
you. I was waiting for you to say get tough acting acting when you're like, boom, get you some tough acting acting.
Yeah.
That was John Madden and shit over there.
Yeah, just boom, boom. You know what I mean? And when you talk
Pull
about
your
shit like that, it
athlete's
feels
foot.
good. You're like, I did do that.
Yep, for
Granted,
sure.
after the game, I want to warm up. I'm probably gonna go fucking make sure I seek. I wouldn't say medical attention, but make sure keep a close eye on my health. Make sure I didn't catch, fucking pneumonia or something like that. But
But I mean,
when you're a young player,
they've got those
yeah,
big old heated jackets, and and when you're running, you're keeping your
mm-hmm,
body temperature up, and you've got all those trainers on the field and all that medical personnel, and they're there with the proper stuff to keep your body
mm-hmm,
regulated. I mean, yeah, you see the players get sick, but like you would think after a game like that, pretty much the whole team would be sick, but very few of them really get sick. So I mean, the training staff that they pay, medical staff, the whole 9 yards. I mean, they know what they're doing to keep that up, and they're watching you, monitoring you, keeping you regulated through the entire game. So I mean,
yeah,
it's more about going out and just freaking enjoying it because you don't get
yeah, just go out
moments
and have
like that
fun.
all the time, you know?
No, no. Once you hit a certain age, you definitely can't get out there and do that. You think I would say Aaron Rodgers. Actually, that could be one of them. Aaron Rodgers so acclimated to that shit though; it's second nature to him anymore. I'm talking about like older when you get older as a player, and I'm sure he's probably not going to like it too much later on. Tom Brady, he probably is like, yeah, those are the games. He goes, those are fun when to look back on, but when you're in the middle of that shit, especially when you're starting to push 40 and shit, that shit ain't that much fucking fun after a while.
Right.
Could you imagine though, but be freezing your ass off? You got the fucking ball in your hands are icicles, and then a player comes up and smacks you. You're like,
Yeah.
oh motherfucker. Oh, that would suck so bad. But at the same time, it's just like those memories that you gain from it. You don't remember. I mean, I guess you probably do remember that, but it's so much fun to fucking talk about. Remember that? And, you're talking to the player that fucking did it to you too. You catch him at one of those like NFL fucking like seminars or like an award show or something like that. Would they do that in those those dinners and shit? You remember that time, man, when fucking when they all get together and years later and they're like, remember that
Yep.
time at the snowball and you smacked me? Oh my god, dude, you fucking hit me so hard, man. That shit stung so bad. And they're like, oh, dude, you were a hard motherfucker to get
And
down.
you
The way you're twisting and turning, fuck.
And you see that a lot when like players are reminiscing about, your Brian Dawkins and your Jerome Bettises and
Oh
Troy
yeah.
Polamalu, stuff like that. You hear that a lot. And
Oh,
speaking of
dude.
that, you- that's something you'll hear a lot from us too. We've had me and this guy and our friends growing up, man, we've had some wild freaking moments that probably a lot of us shouldn't have lived through. So you'll probably be hearing a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
those reminiscent stories, and those will probably bust your gut. We
Yeah.
I was telling Roy over there, I said, we could do an entire episode, and we probably will, just about the cars that we had growing up and the dumb
Oh
stuff
gosh.
that we did in those
Where do I
cars.
start?
Oh my God. Anywhere from, you're
First and
like,
foremost, I got to give a shout out to Eric Hauser.
oh my God,
Oh my
yes, because
gosh.
we had some of the best memories in his cars. And then, your shaggin' wagon and
His
your
Lincolns.
Sunbird, my Cavalier, I mean, my
Mm-hmm.
Daytona that I had. I mean, like the stories we had together and then apart, like just vehicles alone seemed to bring out the worst of our friend group, like straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Your brother's Pathfinder and all the times, going and picking people up out of jail and doing this, that, and the other
Oh yeah.
crap. I mean, like,
Oh yeah.
your
For
dad's
sure.
little
You remember
yellow
the
Nissan
Staller?
truck. What's that?
Do you remember the Staller, the Ford Tempo?
Dude, that car, dude, so what are the stories? Like, that thing, when me and Eric, we had dropped you and Jasmine off out in Mills. And
Mm-hmm.
me and Eric were driving back and we were on old, what is that, Yellowstone Highway. And we broke down, like it stalled. I mean, I knew we'd get it started again, but it stalled near Napa there. And
Oh yeah.
we got, naturally, we were there for like 2 seconds before a cop rolled up behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And he, Eric, gave him the license and registration, all that crap, and when the cop checked us out, he's like, "Well, I can't leave you here, so I'm gonna give you guys a push up to that Napa there, and I want you guys to leave that car there." All right, that son of a bitch got on our back bumper, and we were going from zero to the fastest that freaking car has ever gone in its life. Like that speedometer wouldn't go any farther. And he just
Good God.
went, and then he freaking like did this little NASCAR bumper bump. He came off to the side, flew past us, and we freaking coasted probably a half a mile up into that Napa parking lot. And then
Good
that son of
God.
a bitch, we got back in it. We let it sit for a little bit. And he fired it back up, and we drove back into town. We got to McKinley Street and died. And here's freaking Eric trying to get me to push this motherfucker up that hill to get it
Back
back
when
to
you
where
were,
we can roll to your
how old were
freaking
you?
house.
Like 15, 16? You're like, you gotta be 16 at the time.
Yeah, I would have
So,
been 16. I think I just got my license.
so,
Not to
God,
say that
dude,
we
you're,
weren't driving before that, but
oh
cause
yeah,
shit,
no,
I taught you how to drive a manual transmission when I was 14.
sure did.
Like, um yeah, like, dude, finally we got it. Oh, we got up to Washington Park, and finally I told Eric, I said, screw this. I left the car, and he stayed with the car for a while till he finally got it back to the house. But I said, screw it, and I started walking. Like, I ain't
Yeah,
pushing
like,
this son
fuck
of a
this
bitch
shit.
anymore. Well, and then that
Right.
freaking remember that Chrysler New Yorker your dad gave me?
Yeah.
Yeah, that used to be your old car.
Yep. It
Remember
was
when
my car.
Eric
Then the brakes went out, and then there
wasn't
was
it you
like,
that was towing him when Eric was behind it and the tow rope broke?
yeah,
And he
yeah.
freaking went rolling back, and you guys just left him. He's all rolling
I
back
remember
down
that.
one of the busiest streets in our town, and you just left
Yeah,
him.
because he started going up, and all of a sudden he just like he like looked back. He's like, "Wait a minute!" And the car just started rolling backward. He's like, "Ah, shit!" He started rolling back. Oh my god, dude!
Well, shit,
I remember that because we had to push it uphill, and the bumper to bumper were going uphill, and all of a sudden it slid off, and the car behind it, and all of a sudden I drive, and I'm looking at Eric like, "Yo," and Eric's like, "Wait, what?" I looked behind him, and he just started kept going. All of a sudden, get to the touch. He was like, "Okay, we almost made it. Almost made it." No, never mind. It started slowing
How
down
did he
and stopped.
stop? Did he end up hitting a car or something?
No, I don't think he hit a car, but he ended up rolling down pretty fucking fast, and then he was able to like maneuver it to get back down to the bottom. Luckily, it wasn't such a busy day, but usually that's one of the busier fucking days. And I think that's why we even attempted it. We're like, well, there's no cars, so we should be okay. And gosh, dude, it was early in the morning. I remember that because he was like, let's just push this over here, and then we'll go take it and haul it off, and we'll get some money for it.
Makes me think about
Okay,
that little yellow truck your dad had. He put honk
Uncle
if you're easy
Nissan,
on the tailgate. Remember that?
dude. Yeah,
Your
I
dad
remember I
freaking
let Jasmine drive it one day, and so many guys were just honking at her because I was inside the truck. So she went to the gas station, and she came
I always
out, and
thought
all of a sudden
Jasmine
this
was gonna
car was
get
just
killed.
behind her, dude, just fucking just wailing on the horn, dude, like yo baby, and I'm like, oh my god, what can I
Just,
do? I couldn't even be mad, dude.
just the amount of stories we've got in that little truck. I mean,
Oh
we're
god, dude.
talking an '87 Nissan hardbody pickup truck. His dad
Mm-hmm.
spray painted the thing bright yellow. He took electrical tape and put on the tailgate "honk if you're easy." And I remember we went. What was it? Your uncle's house? It was your uncle's or Jasmine's uncle's or whatever. Where we were busting up that
My uncle Ron,
concrete.
my cousin, my uncle Ron, yeah.
Yeah, when I freaking with Jasmine had me jump start the truck with like only a foot of room, and I ended up crashing through that fence.
Mm-hmm. Because you were popping the clutch.
Well,
For those
yeah,
who don't know what popping a clutch is, it's where you push the car and you hold the clutch down, and then you gotta quickly step on it, and then if you do it just right, the car will it'll stall, but it'll start it right up.
yep.
So that's how you do a pop in the clutch. So you can do it. All you have to do is have the car on. You don't have to turn the key over. None. Just have the car on, and it'll pop the clutch, and it'll start it. It's like a getaway of starting a car. If your starter ever goes out, that's a
Yeah.
quick way you can start it. And Jasmine did that, and little Kenny. So what happens is that your car, when it pops the clutch, like I said, it stalls, but then it jumps.
Yep.
So it jumped forward, and he didn't get enough time to fucking get it
There
started and
wasn't
stop
enough
it.
room.
Yeah, there
That
wasn't
was the
enough room, and you
problem.
smacked into the neighbor's fucking
Yep,
fence and
drove
knocked it
right
over.
through that.
You all just backed it up. They all just came out like staring at you. He just rolled down the window. You're all sorry.
And they drove off.
Drove off. I remember that like it was
Well,
yesterday.
God,
Sorry.
we had. Remember, he had. We loaded that little truck. God, we probably had 30 railroad ties in the back of that poor little
Oh
thing.
God, I remember that.
And then you guys had me sitting on top of the railroad ties while we were driving through town, like I was actually gonna hold those things in place. I mean, they all stayed, but like I don't know what the hell y'all expected me to do.
Dude, and think about this, dude. 2 railroad ties probably weighed as much as you. Just 2. We had like 30 of them
one
bitches back
probably
there.
weighs more than me back then.
Oh yeah,
And I
because
mean, that truck looked like something straight out of Lowrider magazine. Like you hit a bump
Yeah,
and that
that
bad
shit
boy
was
was shooting
bent.
sparks. Like I don't even know how it had enough
Me,
power to get up that hill.
very impressed is what I was.
That
Now
little truck
looking
was
back on it,
stupid.
I'm impressed. And now as a dad, if I would have caught my sons doing that to my car, I'd have been fucking hot.
I
I'd be
know.
like, dude, you guys just strangled my fucking struts and shit.
But your
That
dad,
car's like, fuck,
but
fuck.
your dad, I mean, your dad, he didn't care though. He's like, you got to take the truck. I'll just fucking walk. I'm like, no,
Yeah, you
Vic,
go ahead and take truck. I'll walk.
like that,
I
man.
told me to go fuck myself. I was like, figure it out on your own,
Exactly.
fucktard.
But your dad's like, I just walk. You guys need the truck. I'll just walk. And it's like, no, no. And then you try and stop and pick the man up when he was walking. I mean, the dude walked like 4 miles one freaking way every day, and he went to a
Yeah.
job where he busted tires for a living, and then
Mm-hmm.
turned around and walked his bitch ass home, knowing damn well that he had a vehicle, sometimes two vehicles, but it was always,
Mm-hmm.
no, you kids need it, you kids. And it's like, no, fool, you need it. You take
Yeah,
it.
I told us to go fuck off. Like, you guys have tons of friends who have tons of cars. Get a ride. Fuck off.
There
I
were a
bought this.
couple
This is
times we were
mine.
like, hey, Pops, let me borrow your truck. And get a fucking job.
Yeah. There's some couple of those days my dad finally, and the coolest thing in the world, the best thing that I could say is that I love my dad. I love him for everything he's always did for me, and I've always appreciate everything he did for me. And the best thing that he's ever done to me is finally told me no. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? He finally told
Exactly.
me no, and I had to do that because Jasmine, she's always, with my kids, they're all like, especially the boys, especially Dre, my oldest. Dre's just like, Mom, and I'm like, Jasmine, you have to tell him no sometimes.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, he needs our help. I was like, I understand he needs our help a lot of times, but also the best thing my dad ever fucking did for me, it took him a long time to finally give me tough love, and that's what tough love was.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to be mean. He was trying to get me to fucking, be an adult.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, you got, money for this. Dad, you got money for that. And people are like, fuck, you need to quit fucking bugging your dad for money. And I was like, fuck you. It's none of your business.
Exactly.
Finally, and it was not that. It was just, people felt that bad for my dad and their image of me. And they're absolutely right. At the time, I was a lazy fucking little shit. Just needed to get my shit together. And I didn't see it like that because I was being just selfish or
We
lazy. I
all
don't know
were,
how I.
though.
Right. And but the best thing that my dad ever did was finally go, no, I'm done. Figure it
Yep.
out. I'm sorry. Sink or swim. He goes, if it has something to do with the kids and it's dire need and the kids need it,
All
we'll
right.
talk about that. But if it's just something that's, that you could control or you have control over, figure it out. I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. If you have to suffer, if you have to go without something that you wanted because you need to pay this bill, that's on you, dude. And I do that to my kids now. They're like, oh, well, I was going to borrow the money, like, especially my oldest. Hey, do you got, $50 that I can get from you? I'm going to go buy this car. I'm like, what happened to your money? Oh, well, I did this. I'm like, did you do this? Did you pay this? Did you do this? Well, I was going to hold off. Where's your money? You know what I mean? Well, I was
Yeah.
going to see if you could just pay that. And I'm like,
No.
dude, I can't do that for you, man. You
No.
got to do this on your own. Because if you don't, then you're going to always ask me, and I'm not going to always be here to fucking rescue you. And then what are you going to do? And people always say that to me. What are you going to do when your dad dies? What are you going to do when your dad dies? Well,
Yep.
my
You
dad
just
finally
assume
about,
they're going to live forever.
and I wish they did, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We all do, I wish, both of our dads were still here,
Yeah.
God rest both of their souls.
I miss my dad every
And,
day.
but every day, every single day. And, but the best thing my dad ever did for me, and this was just a few years before he passed away, was just like, figure it out, dude. And, and I figured it out. I started doing it on my own. And then I started giving my dad money back. If I did borrow
Yep.
money from my dad, I paid it right back. I was like, yep, I just need to borrow like $50. I'm short, but I'll get it right back to you. Okay, give me the money. And shit, less than a week later, I'd come back with the money. Here's your money. And then most of the time you take it occasionally because my dad knew that there was more important things than money in his life.
Oh, yeah.
And he'd be like, nah, just go ahead and keep it. Like when my Escalade broke down, it didn't break down. The air shocks went out. So I mean technically it's broke down. You could drive it, but just it wasn't good.
It's bouncy.
So anyway, I told him, I was like, I really got to get these air shocks and I don't have the money. So my dad's like, here's my debit card. Go buy whatever you need, get it done. So I said, okay. And then he called me about 4 days later, is it soup yet? So what the fuck are you talking about soup? And I'm not getting any soup. He's like, no, is your car fixed? I was like, oh yeah. Me and Robbie, easiest fucking job I ever did.
Oh
I don't
yeah,
know how. I know why mechanics charge so much, but then again, it was just like, bro,
they charge for
that
the
was like a
experience,
yeah,
and
30.
that's
It was like a 30-minute job, dude. It
yeah,
was so fucking easy to change out fucking air shocks. Easiest thing I ever did. Even the fucking air shock compressor, dude, was like fucking 3 bolts and like a clip.
yeah.
That's it. You just had to mount it and clip it. And then after that, everything hooked in. The air shock, same thing. All you had to do is jack the car up, and then it was just 2 bolts, one on each side, popped right off, put the other one on, and then click it back in. It was that
Mhm.
simple. It was like, you got to be fucking shitting me. It was this
I
easy.
know,
But
but now
some people can't do it, though.
I will tell you when it gets difficult, and that's when I had a
Change
car
down.
fall on my head. Was when my brother had an
Fuck.
expedition. Oh yeah, it hurt so bad. Like my brother had a Ford Expedition. It was an Eddie Bauer edition,
Oh,
and
my
he had
God.
the air ride, and the whole system went to shit.
Oh,
And we
boy.
decided that it was going to be cheaper and easier to switch it to a traditional suspension and get rid of the air ride.
Mm-hmm.
And I had gotten all the way through the vehicle, got on the last one, and the coil, I don't know what the coil did, but it was weird. It had like kinked or something. Well, it shot out, and when it shot
Oh,
out,
my
it hit,
God.
it hit the jack, and the whole thing kicked out and came down and smacked me in the head.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was
Bro, that
terrible.
could have killed you.
It probably should have. Like, this is right after right after me and my wife had first got together.
Oh, my
Um,
God.
yeah, and she was like, "You need to go to the hospital. You need to go to the hospital." I didn't go, but definitely got a concussion because I saw white for probably 2 days. Like that
God
thing
damn.
just boom. My head was under the fender well when it happened, and so
Dude,
boom, just came down and just laid me out.
you were so
Um,
lucky it did not fucking decapitate you.
Well, that's it. And Shane, you've met Shane, the one that came up and
Yeah.
visited. He was helping
One
me
time.
do
Yeah,
it.
he's a cool kid. He's a cool kid. Yeah.
Yeah,
I remember
I
him.
still talk to him on the regular. But in fact, we're trying to get him to come up and visit. But he was helping me do it, and he was in charge of the jack when it kicked out. And still to this day, he won't let himself live it down. And it's like, dude, it happens. Like it was a freak of nature. Like it shouldn't have
Yeah.
happened. We had lots of safeguards in place so it wouldn't happen, and it still
Mm-hmm.
happened. I mean, the
Just at the right
ultimately
place at the right time.
what probably saved my life is the fact that we did have so many safety measures, and the jack stand held and everything else, but it just boom smoked me. Thankfully, it didn't take me all the
Fuck.
way to the ground because we did have so many other safety things in place. But when you're dealing with coil springs, because you have to have the little tighteners that put all the pressure on them to fit them in and everything, it's
That's
bad.
scary.
Oh, it's
Oh,
terrible. So
fuck yeah.
I've since that from that day on, if it is not just a shock, like a standard 2-bolt shock, I won't
Yeah.
deal with it. Nope,
I
I
don't
won't
blame you.
deal with it.
You're
No.
like, fuck too. I ain't doing that shit again.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
fucking blame you.
terrible dog.
Yeah, I don't blame you. There's a lot of incidents that I've been in where I'm like, yeah, I shouldn't have probably walked away from that, and I did, and that's probably a sign saying, fuck that.
hmm
Some
Me
people
getting
are
hit by that
daredevils though.
car
Huh?
when I got hit by that car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, I remember that when you had that broken leg. You used to God, you had a broken leg forever.
Yeah, I
God,
was
dude.
in a cast of some sort for a year.
Yeah. I
hmm
remember that. And then you got into it with the school and they called the cops on you and you barricaded your fucking front door with a crutch or something
Dude,
like that, didn't you?
I thought that was gonna stop him, but now they just booted that door right through, crutch and all, like just boom. Yeah,
Fuck, dude.
that's when I got put in WBI. For those that don't know, that's the Wyoming Behavioral Institute.
Hmm.
So I spent 6 months in there. But yeah,
That's
no. And that's that like that whole saga is a whole story for another time. Like that whole incident was a whole saga, like from beginning to end to being, that was a defining moment for me being who I was as to who I am now. Like,
mm-hmm.
because I was nothing but a little juvenile hoodlum, you know, run not well. I mean, I was running with you, so I was running with the bad crowd.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
I
We
mean,
knew we were definitely the Rat Pack for sure.
That's when I got out of cat. That's the moment that got me out of Casper and changed my
Probably the
life
best thing that
around.
ever did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, now I'm back in Casper now, but I'm not with any of those people anymore. I'm not doing any of
No,
those. I
most
mean,
of those
like,
people are already in. They're not. I don't think any of them are dead that I could
yeah, oh,
think
yeah,
of.
some of them that I ran with are dead,
Yeah.
and then some of them that are still alive look like they should be dead.
Yeah, and then some are in prison,
Yep,
in
yep.
and out of prison,
Yeah, the
and then
only
some of
ones,
them got their shit together.
and that's it. And I still associate and I still run Die Hard with those that did get their shit together.
Yeah,
Um, I ride or die for any of them. I mean, you, Arlen, your brother, like, there's a whole handful of them that we were all in deep shit, but we all fucking, realized, fixed our mistakes. But yeah, that's a whole
yeah,
story for another time. But,
yeah. We decided enough being a jackass. I like my freedom. I like my health, and I like and I want to be able to enjoy my life and not, you know what I mean? Because I mean, when
yep.
you go to prison, it's like there's nothing great about going to prison. There's
No,
nothing cool about going to jail.
some people love it, but yeah, for the most part, there's not.
You
Um,
know, when they get institutionalized, that's all they know. They're like, "Fuck it, I have no problem going back." Like you don't have a problem with getting, you
no,
know,
free
I just don't
healthcare,
get it.
free hots in a cot. You're
Yeah,
you're
that's
only
true.
answering to your jailers. I mean, you build a fraternity in there with your other inmates. I mean, I could see it. And then you come out and you see how fucked up the world has become in just the year or two or even 5 years that you've been in there, and you're like, oh hell, the fuck no. And you do
Yeah,
something
this
stupid to
is
get you put
weird.
back in because it's comfortable.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you got so comfortable, grown accustomed to it that's just. I don't know. Like the fact that and in prison systems now, it's actually gotten more relaxed too, though, because they have access to the internet. And like
yeah,
hell, my son Dre, he went to jail a couple of years ago. He's better now. He's a good kid now. He don't fuck around now. He learned his lesson. But he went to jail only for like 2 weeks. In that 2 weeks, bro, they gave him a tablet to watch movies
yeah.
on, and he
My
got to
brother
kick
had
it. It
his
was like the
Xbox.
only. Yeah, as long as you don't mind fucking being naked in front of a dude or shitting in front of a dude, another person, and after that, just learn how to keep your mouth shut. For the most part, you should be okay. I
Yeah,
mean, occasionally there is that one position where you get in and you can try everything you can to avoid fucking conflict, but just so happens you're gonna get wrapped up in it somehow or some way because I mean, motherfuckers are in there, and some people are fucking about drama because they got nothing better to do. So
exactly.
they are about drama. So I
Yep.
mean, I don't know. I knew this one dude. Um, I won't say his name because the story behind it, he got caught sucking dick in a fucking kitchen. I know another dude who went in there. He was there just to do his fucking time, and they ran him off. Supposedly, he got ran off. They fucking transferred him out that prison and to a whole different prison because of another person that I know of that I know actually had problems with him. And word got out that he did some shit that he should. He didn't like molest no kids or nothing like that, but um, he did some shit that fucking a lot of people didn't agree with. They weren't
Right.
necessarily cool with. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he wasn't like a pedophile or he just ripped off some people that he shouldn't have did. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like to where they were gonna kill him type shit, but they just thought he was just a piece of shit for what he did.
Yeah.
And so they. Supposedly he got ran off, because he just said he woke up one morning and they said, "Hey, give your shit, you're being transferred." He's all, "What?" So I don't know the whole story behind it, but I know that another person I know was in the same. I want to say the same cell block, definitely in the same prison as him at the same time, and they knew exactly who each other were, and it was like, nah, fuck that guy, and everybody happened to believe him or something. I don't know the whole story. I never asked about it too much, but yeah, fucking. And when you're there just trying to do your fucking time, and motherfuckers know who you are,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's all it takes. You know what I
Yep.
mean? They're just like, oh, I know who you are, motherfucker. I know who you are on the outside, inside, inside and out. I know who you are, what you're about, and you ain't fooling nobody here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
Especially that's why paperwork in the prison system is so fucking valuable. Because when they say, "What are you in for?" and then you got to tell them, "I'm here because of this, this, and this." Well, you better have paperwork to fucking prove that because otherwise, motherfuckers are gonna think something different. Like, why are
You're,
you really here? Because if you
it's
have nothing to
Chimo.
prove why you're here, I can only assume that you did something that you shouldn't, that you're not really. I mean, you're nobody's proud of being in the system,
No,
but what you should be proud to even tell other people that are in the system that you're
right,
not comfortable is what I should say, that you're not even comfortable telling other people.
right.
You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh, why are you here?" And a lot of times when they say, "Oh, for check fraud," it's actually, I'm not saying every one of them, but a majority of them, it's actually because they're a pedophile and they already know that you cannot run around screaming that they're a pedophile
Yeah, you're gonna
because,
get screwed.
oh yeah, it's a wrap for you, and rightfully so. You're a piece of shit because pedophiles, in my opinion, dude, they deserve to get thrown to the fucking wolves. In my
Yeah,
opinion,
yeah.
absolutely. I that's one person type of person that I hate more than anybody. Anything on this planet, for the most part, is
And
pedophiles.
Chimo, yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, there's other things that other human beings do that's just as bad, but pedophiles definitely at the top of my list of you're a piece of shit and you don't deserve to live. You should be thrown to the fucking wolves and let them have at you. But instead, they give them
Chimos,
PC and
Chimos, animal
yeah,
abusers,
yeah,
elderly neglecting people, like,
yeah. People
scum of
who
the earth.
fucking are rapists and I mean, there's so many factors, or fucking just like psycho murderers. Not, I understand, when you grow up a certain way in certain neighborhoods, I understand fucking, you got enemies or trying to kill you, you got to kill them. I understand. It's personally, murder is murder. I get it, whatever. I don't really want to get on that
No,
because I've met people who have done that. You know what I mean? So I get why, because in certain situations it's kill or be killed,
yeah,
and I get that. But then there's those people that you have no business killing anybody because, and I'm not saying killing anybody is right, but I understand. There's situations like, well, if they're gonna kill me and I got a chance to kill them, and if I don't take you out, you're going to kill me. So it's a no brainer. What else can you do? Besides, I guess you can move away, but then I don't know. Some people don't have that option. So
right. No, I
it's
agree.
so. But anyway, but for like the Jeffrey Dahmer type of people, the weirdo murderers. You know what I mean? Like invite people over to the house to turn you into a fucking lampshade. Them
Right.
motherfuckers. Those are the other people that I'm like, you're not a good person. You're not a good person, dude. The fucking weirdos like John Gacy or whatever, John Wayne Gacy or whatever the fuck his name is, that took those boys and
Yeah.
handcuffed them and killed them and stuffed them downstairs. Just people like that, you know what I mean? That are fucking stocko psycho weirdos. Like, take put them in the wheel, in the fucking electric chair, get it over with. It's those people who have those glitches that are in their head. You know what I mean? Other people who conduct themselves in society, and it's just like, I get it. And then there's other people that are just psychopaths. That are just like, no, you should probably get this person out of here because they're not a good person.
Yep.
So,
Well,
but yeah, no, that's how it goes with that. And then, but no, I don't even know where we even how we even landed on that. But
that's all right. It was a pilot. It was a pilot episode. So I mean, we're kind of all
yeah,
over the place, but these are the
we
kind
are.
of random things that you're going to get from us. Like I said, you'll
Mm-hmm.
get everything in between, but we just wanted to kind of come in and let you know where we're, who we are, what we're about, and you can expect probably a lot of serious topics, but you're going to probably get a lot of comedy from us as well.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
so we just wanted to come in and introduce ourselves and let you know what's coming. We'll be doing these weekly. In fact, our big plan is to actually do them twice weekly. We would like to do one focused more on sports
Entertainment.
sports and entertainment, and then we kind of like we're both big music buffs, like die hard.
Huge.
And I mean, you've
I'm a
got
rapper myself, so
yeah, you've got Roy over there, big hip hop guy. I mean, modern all the way back to the classics, and I
mm-hmm.
know I know a lot about hip hop too. I listen to a lot of it as well, but he definitely is more of the master on that situation, master with the car audio, pretty much
Oh
music
yeah.
related, in the hip hop world. As to me, I'm big into the rock, new metal, heavy metal, stuff like that. But I mean, I'm all the way back to classic rock, Beatles, Monkees, stuff like that.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, oh yeah. There's very little that I don't have, you know, knowledge in as far as the music goes. You know, like I said, I'll listen to everything from the Beatles to Monkeys to Slipknot, Slayer, to say even country like Brantley Gilbert, Zach Brown, Leonard Skinner, George Strait. I mean, I'm all over the place when it comes to music. In fact, my iPod library is like ridiculous. So I have
It's
probably.
bipolar to say to speak, or so to
Yeah, because
speak.
the last time I looked, I had 4 months of continuous music without hearing the same song twice.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got a very
Damn.
extensive library. So you'll hear a lot about that from us. And then, we'll share childhood stories. At some point, we'd like to go. We would start liking to do live stuff. So we're looking at, possible events that we'd like to do. We've even talked about maybe going up and doing some live streaming from Sturgis this year. Um, we wanted to go do some live streaming from the Ludacris T-Pain concert down in Cheyenne for Frontier Days, but unfortunately the tickets are just ridiculous. And
Oh yeah, because of they got a pretty sweet lineup this year.
well, they do, but the ticket prices have gotten out of hand, and the way that they smash you in the crowd has gotten so out of hand.
Oh
uh,
yeah, I'm too old for that shit now.
yeah, and
I'll go
I'm
to the
getting there
back and sit in the
too.
stands.
But even the stands, bro, we went and saw Aerosmith a few years back, and amazing, but that was tight. Then we turned around 2 years later and went to Brantley Gilbert, and just in that 2 years, like, I'm a small guy, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my little small ass and my wife's little small ass were taking up 2 seats. Like, that's how tight they have you packed in there now. And
Damn.
it's just, yeah. So maybe one day we'll get down there and do some broadcasting for y'all. But we would like to do some live events for you guys, and continue
That'd be
this
really cool.
on. We're gonna have lots of different directions to go in, so bear with us. And like I said, if there's some stuff you'd like to discuss, I mean, please let us know. We're more than happy to. And then maybe we can
Always,
maybe.
we'd love to invite people.
Oh
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
and we're gonna get some guests on. Maybe we'll get some of you fans on as guests, and maybe we'll be able to do some live streaming. We've got a lot of things planned. So if this episode wasn't your cup of tea, just remember, as a pilot, we're introducing ourselves, kind of letting you know what's going
Mm-hmm.
on, where we're coming from, and but from here on out, it's going to be a lot more. It'll be a lot more not scripted, but we'll have an idea, a predetermined program where we won't get so out of
Down a
out of
rabbit hole.
line. That's not to say that it's not going to happen, because anything can lead us into a rabbit hole conversation. But
Mm-hmm.
um, so keep that in mind, and if there's anything you guys would like to talk about, we'd love to hear from it. But that's our episode for today, and we hope you enjoyed. I'm Kenny DoeKeezee. That's Roy DoeKeezee. And we can't wait to see you guys next week. If you got anything else to say, Roy, just say it real quick and we'll get on.
You know, for everybody who's watching this, man, we thank you for checking this out. We hope to hopefully bring you guys back on, and like Kenny said, man, whoever wants to get on with us, just let us know prior and what you would like to discuss topic wise, so we know when to bring you on, so you can actually talk with us. And we invite any and all guests. Obviously, this is a learning process for all of us, so we're just kind of still taking this one day at a time, and we really hope to get more of you to watch us, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll get some structure going. We'll get some fans. We'll get some friends. Who knows? Maybe even have a big guest one of these days. You never know. But we're going to keep working at this, keep making it better. And we hope y'all stick around for the ride. And thank you for giving us the chance. You guys have a great
Hell
one,
yeah.
and we'll see you next time.
Hell yeah, let's do it.